Hi, I'm Eshkalar, the world's greatest Canadian wizard. And does the mass media poison our thoughts? Oh, yes, it does. Because I was trying to recall one of my great stories from the past, from the Stone Age, and today's news got in the way, so I misquoted the name. And I ruined what should have been the world's greatest homage because the media spoiled my mojo cool. So, hi, I'm Eshkalar, the world's greatest Canadian wizard, and you can tell I'm Canadian because I've been to the Freedom Bridge and I know that freedom fries ain't free. I've got the camera down here today because I want you to see my fashionable sweatshirt. What do you think? Starlight. Starlight Lounge. Anybody? Best Polish platter anywhere. Anyway, so I have a story to tell you today. There is a notable Pittsburgh Steeler is in the paper today, and we're sorry to have lost him. That's Jack Lambert. And he was one of the great defensive coordinators. And certainly in the Stone Age, he was one of the great figures. I think if you had talked to any man 12 years old or older in the 1970s, they would have known Jack Lambert. But the story I'm going to tell today isn't a Jack Lambert story. It's a story about another iconic Steeler, Franco Harris. How about that? Oh, you will believe that your shoelaces can make the ball fly. So, Franco, being an icon, and let me tell you that I understand iconry because I am an icon. I'm an icon of chaos. Well, I used to be. The real icon of chaos, the extant one, is Dyron Dyson, but I was the other icon of chaos for a great many years, 1200. Until Burizinar and I parted ways, and now I don't have the power to back up, my whimsical nature. They're still pretty girls. I just don't have any power or money. Anyway, somebody out there is bored. So here's my story about Franco Harris. Have any of you ever been up to Pymatuning? It's a lake up in northern Pennsylvania. And it's a beautiful place. It really is. I recommend to you, if you're the kind of people that like to take cruises through scenic country, go up to I-80. Drive it either east or west. You're going to see some nice country. So anyway, but here's the thing. Up near Pymatuning, if you went east or west along the highway up there, before GPS, you could tell where you were. And you could be certain you knew where the next gas station was, when it was coming. And here's why. See, I was driving east to west along, not 80, but the one above it, with my friend, the icon of chaos who can drive, Dyron. And we were in a blue Camaro that had been painted with wall paint, blue wall paint, Prussian blue, and had no plate. And we would race up I-80. Well, we'd race up 79 and 8 and 19 on a strange little course every week. And for reasons I can't tell you, but it's a true story. So if you're interested, ask Dyron, because he'll probably tell you the story. Some of it's pretty dang funny. So anyway, we're driving from east to west to head to our location, and on the way by, well, you go past, the Pettin Zoo, and you go past the Causeway, and, you go past these other iconic, important places, important people. That's me. So at any rate, you go past these places like the Causeway, and you go past the Pettin Zoo, and you go past the camping places, and of course, in the old days, you go past the Anchorage. There's a story there, but I'm not here to tell it today. So, as we drive along, going from east to west, we'd smell this terrible smell. Oh my gosh. It was like, oh, what the? Whoa, I'm a man, and that's a terrible smell. I could let something mummify in front of me, and it wouldn't be so bad. This was pretty awful. So, as we traveled on, it got stronger and stronger and stronger. So there was nothing on the tires, nothing on our feet, nothing in the back seat, Jack Lemmon. If you don't know why that's funny. So anyway, And then finally, the smell crested, whoa, and then started to decrease. All right, got less and less and less and less attenuated, until it was gone. And then doggone, if not 20 minutes later, we start smelling it again. And then it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And here comes the gas station. And then it got not so bad, 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 not so bad. We drove a little farther. Uh-oh, here it comes again. And yeah, And finally I says, Darwin, I want to take this bull by the horns. He says, I don't swing that way. I said, no, I want to stop at this next gas station because obviously these stinks are coming from this gas station. And he's like, well, probably it's plugged up. Have you been here before? These are the A material, folks. I keep the jokes on coming the whole time. I keep the on. Whoa. No English teachers watching this broadcast, please. So anyway, we pulled in, and the stink was horrendous. And I walked up to the kiosk and says to the guy, I says, hi. And he says, no, they don't let me smoke at work. And I says, process. Well, anyway, this place stinks. And he goes like, okay, obviously you've been here before. What's the problem? I says, no, wait. I says, what stinks around here? And he says, the Cleveland Browns. I says, no, they're highly polarized up there. And I says, no. I says, here at this gas station. And he says, I don't smell anything. I says, when you came in today, did you smell something? He goes, oh, that. He goes, here, I'll tell you. He gets out of the kiosk. He goes, come around the back. And around the back, in the sun, of course, there was a vending machine. There's also a struggling Coke machine, trying to keep the stuff cold in the summer sun. But there was this big, looked like it was one of those Japanese vending machines where you like hit the big plate and you get like, a whole sushi meal or a pizza or something, And it wasn't that. It was a Franco Harris live bait machine. Wow, that's fishing country up there. And if you could go and get live bait after 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock when all the gas stations close, because all those gas stations have one of those tanks with live bait in it, right? No. They close up at 8. You can't get any more. And the best times to fish are at sunrise, just before and just after sunrise, and just before and just after sunset. These are the times to fish. And those are the times the gas stations ain't open. So somebody had pitched Franco Harris this great idea. Well, all those hours and people are on the road looking for bait, and they're all cramming up into these 24-hour places that are always out of bait. Somebody should be catering to that need. We could make a lot of money on worms and spiders and mice and stuff. Just put them in these little humidors and a little bit of food and leave them in this vending machine in the hot summer sun for weeks at a time. So Franco, who didn't see the future, who does except me, and every time I look at it I go like in bed, wrap myself up in an electric blanket, turn up to 9. So somebody had sold Franco this great idea. All these places that need live bait after they close. And we'll just make, a quarter. You get a thing of mealyworms, you get a thing of regular earthworms, you get a thing of crickets, you get a thing of mice, pump. You can catch 12-foot muskie, I'll bet. Ask the fishermen up there. They've all seen one. They had it right on the end. Their wife got in the way and it escaped, and they're sorry that they didn't marry the fish. Now, I'm not sure if there was booze involved in these stories, but I suspect perhaps. Old people grow hair in the worst places. So anyway, we'd go up to these gas stations, and everyone would stink like hell because there was a Franco Harris live bait machine right there in the sun, right? Northern exposure. So somebody had sold Franco this grand idea and then not followed up on it. So apparently somebody made a lot of money or invested a lot of money and then never maintained the machines. So week after week, the bait wasn't replaced. The creatures would die and they'd stink in the sun. And you could tell where you were in northern Pennsylvania by how powerful the smell was. I'm coming up on 79. Oh, yeah, that's the one with 2 machines. Franco Harris live bait machines. I bet that's a story you never heard. And it's all true. Every word is true. I checked it through spell check. This is your old pal Eshkalar, signing off.